Hi everyone, I'm Tech Bob. I'm coming at you from our repair center today here at eTech. We're doing some changes on the film room, so thought we'd show you where all the repairs are done. The theme of today's video, as mentioned in the stream, it's been about a year that this has been out, or at least available to the public. This is the Apple heated display opening fixture. Now, the program itself, the Apple Source Service Repair, started last April, so we're not quite at a year yet, but we have seen a lot of customers that have this machine. We don't sell it because it is an Apple machine, but there's been a lot of questions as far as how to use it, or there's a lot of errors that come up from it, and it's because it has to be used a very specific way. If you don't use it in a specific way, you'll get all kinds of E and then numbers behind it as errors. So I'm going to show you that quickly today. First thing you want to do is take the pocket out, which there's a 6.1 and I believe the other one's 6.7. So the smaller one is for your 12 and 13, 12 Pro, 13 Pro, and then the larger one is for your Max series. So you slide the phone in there. It has this little like retention clip on the side, and all you do is slide the phone all the way down to the bottom and then put that retention bracket down, and then this will slide on there, which will actually switch over to the overhead camera so you can see a little closer. So what you do is you slide this all the way in until you hear a click, and then also this knob on the top, you can't really see it on that camera. This knob right here, whoops, it's kind of close, but this knob right here is what raises and lowers the suction cup, which let me readjust the camera. So the important thing is that the suction cup is all the way up and that it's all the way back towards the base of the machine here. If you don't start it in this position, you're going to get an error right away. So now that that's done, the power button is on the back. You flip that. It also has a safety stop switch. So if it's depressed, it's good. So like, see, I have an error right now. I'm going to pop this out real quick. Make sure the phone's in there. That's all the way up. Flip it in again. I'm going to turn the machine on the back and then depress the safety, which going clockwise will do that. Oh, actually I had it the other way. So I'm getting an error again. Let me pop that down, up. So that's funny. Now I'm going to get all kinds of errors. So if that happens to you, just basically go through the steps again. So I'm going to pop this back out, slide the phone in all the way, pop that down. And it might be, I think I might have had the steps wrong. So machine on. There we go, machine on. There we go. So I had one of the steps off. So you turn it on without the pocket in there, slide it all the way back to where it clips, and then you should get this red screen. Once you have this red screen, you know you're good, because what it's doing, if you listen close, you can kind of hear the machine. It seems like it's trying to get going, but it isn't. That's perfectly normal, believe it or not. What it's doing right now is heating up to its optimal temperature, and that's why you'll see the little temperature gauge go up. This probably takes a couple minutes. What happens next is it'll heat for, I believe the timer is 2 minutes at that temperature where they want it to be heating the entire sides of it, and you'll get a second timer. But if you get to this point, you're usually good. So just to repeat the steps we went through, we turned the machine on the back without the pocket clipped in. That's where I mistakenly did the step there. But have that out. Make sure the safety button is depressed, because if not, the machine won't turn on. Once you have that yellow screen and the phone's in the pocket, slide it all the way to the back to where you hear that click. And if you get this red screen, you're good so far. And like I said, there's certain things that'll cause errors. As you saw earlier when I had it clipped in when I turned the machine on, didn't like that. If this knob at the top was screwed down enough and the suction cup was close to the screen, it would also error out. If the suction cup was too far out, it can also error out. So what we believe is Apple did this by design, because if you think about it, anyone can purchase this machine. I don't know why most DIYers would, but they're trying, it seems like they're trying to protect the DIYer from themselves. Because if they do allow it to operate in different ways that can either cause damage to the device or hurt the user, that would be an issue on their end. So now that we've gotten it to the right temperature, it's counting down. It's at 1 minute and 33 seconds. It's kind of just counting down as it's heating up the entire edges of the phone. Which there's no comments, right, Scott? Just making sure. Cool. Like I said, today was just a kind of a tech tips or overview on this machine. Although it's not something we sell, it's something that we do get questions on. We've had it here, and we originally bought it a year ago to kind of see what the hype was about on the Apple side. And I would say this is on the higher cost side as far as machines go. The actual unit is about $250, and then each pocket is around, I want to say $120 to $130. So it is an investment. The benefit you get is it takes a lot of the human error out of opening the phone. So if you've ever opened an iPhone 12 or a 13 series and cracked a screen or separated or caused any damage, this helps prevent that. Now, in the time this has come out, there's been some aftermarket versions that have released, which we've kind of looked at some here and there. The cost is about the same. Haven't landed on any single one yet, but I foresee us most likely choosing one of them, and we'll do a video on that one in the future series. What the benefit we've seen with the other ones is they're typically universal, so you don't have to buy these specific pockets for each individual phone. Got about 10 seconds left. And again, don't go off the sound of the machine because it still sounds like it's struggling to work, but that's normal for it. All right, so this green means go. It's gonna beep until you do something. So what you have to do here is bring the suction cup out as far as you can, and then you lower it with this knob, turning clockwise. And you wanna get as close to the bottom edge as you can without overlapping it. And then once you've gotten it down all the way, it has this little tab that you push down, which you can do it either way. I'm gonna do it backwards so I have easy access to the sides of the screen. And the timer is indicating this is how long you have to do this. So I have 15 minutes to basically open the phone. I would say, without talking like I am today, on average, it's probably gonna take you maybe 60 seconds, 2 minutes. What you do is you start to turn the knob counterclockwise, and what that's going to do is start to lift the screen. I'm going to try to zoom in with the camera. Can you see the edge of this phone there, Scott? Here, I'm going to lift this a little bit. All right, we'll see if that'll get a good view on it, but I'm slowly turning this. And what you can do is either use a guitar pick or a spudger, and you're just going in on the edges to help separate the adhesive. And you just keep slowly going. What you need to keep an eye out for is that the screen, the adhesive, as it comes up, you're separating it. That adhesive is pretty strong, but the heat helps release it. So as I go counterclockwise, you see it starts to come up more and more. And at this point, the phone is open, which let's see. You can see it right there. So that right there, we've never had a screen crack using this machine. When you're doing it freehand method with either your own suction cup or alcohol or a metal tool like a blade, there's a lot of variables there. How long you heat it on a heating pad, or how much alcohol, or how much force you use with the blade. So that's where things can kind of go wrong. But this, like I said, a lot less variables, a lot easier to manage. What we typically do with our newer techs, especially if they don't feel 100% confident with opening an iPhone 12 or 13, we'll have them start with this machine just because, one, it helps build their confidence up, and two, it saves money because you're not cracking new screens. Because not only, say you're doing a battery on this and not a screen, but say you're doing a screen replacement and you want to sell that screen through buyback, if you're cracking the screens, removing them, that's really gonna hurt your buyback value. So the machine, I would say, is it worth it? Yes. Is it expensive? Also yes, but it's worth the investment if you have had those issues with opening these series of phones. But that's all I had to cover for today's stream. We won't have one next week because we are going to the every 2-week model. But if anyone has something they'd like to see on the next stream, so the next stream will be in February because there's not one next week, let us know. I believe we have either a product review or an overview of one of our programs in line for the next stream. So there's anything else you want to see, let us know. But hope everyone enjoyed this one. Save this link. It's going to be on our Facebook account if you do have one of these machines, and just refer to it for use. Should have been a pretty quick video. You can shorten it if you want to or fast forward, but hopefully this helped. So hope everyone has a great weekend. We'll see everyone next time.